So picture this. A girl is trying to satisfy her curiosity about her heritage by taking a DNA test. Why? Maybe she just wants to figure out if she has that 1% of Viking blood. But the next thing she knows, the police is knocking on her door calling her phone because the test results spelled the beans that one of her relatives was actually a cold case killer that the police department has been hunting for more than 20 years. Meet Jenna Gawatowski. She works at a flower shop in Newberry, Michigan. And everything starts from when Jenna's friend got one of those DNA ancestry testing kits during Christmas. So she got one for herself as well. Do you ever wonder how those DNA or ancestry tests work? Let me walk you through this. The first step is always easy. All you gotta do is to provide a saliva or cheek swab sample, and these samples contain cells that possess DNA. And subsequently, the sample will be sent to the lab for testing, and the technicians will extract the DNA from the cell, purify the impurities. Then this DNA is analyzed by utilizing microarray technology, and this technology consists of thousands of proteins that bind to specific regions of DNA, and this DNA is called single nucleotide polymorphisms. And this genotyping data is then compared to a large reference database which contains genetic information from individuals from different ethnic backgrounds. And finally, a report is sent back to users showing the percentage of ancestry from different regions or ethnic groups. And that sounds boring as fuck. Sounds like what Jeffrey Epstein and Stephen Hawking would be interested. Not me. Everything went smoothly. No fuss, no muss. Curiosity killed the cat and satisfaction brought them back, right? And a year later, she was at work. Her phone rang. It was from a detective from the Michigan State Police Department. She was like, okay, am I in trouble? Did I kill someone? Why is there a detective calling me? What is going on here? But what the detective said next got her foaming at the mouth. He said he's reopening a case that happened 25 years ago, and Jenna's DNA was a direct match to the victim. Then he asked Jenna, have you heard of the Baby Garnett case? Jenna was like, you're fucking shitting me, right? The Baby Garnett case. So the Baby Garnett case is infamous in the town where she grew up. Even if you don't know what actually went down in this case, at least people heard about it. The detective also told her that they have been working with the lady who's from a genetic genealogy investigation firm, and the firm manages a vast worldwide DNA database. And he also said the lady probably gonna call her later that day to ask her to upload her DNA results to the website, and by doing so they can probably finally make some progress and just solve this once for all. Is that okay, Jenna? She's like, sure, let her call me. After she finished the phone call with the detective, she called her mom right away. She's like, Mom, you have no idea who the fuck just called me. That person claims to be a detective, saying I am related to the Baby Garnett case. They're gonna ask my permission to upload my DNA to the website. And her mom was being very vigilant. Her mom was like, you know what? I think it's probably a scam. Don't trust them. Oh, remember last year your grandpa felt something similar like this? Somebody called your grandpa saying he's a detective and he's asking your grandpa's social security number. So this is definitely a scam. Don't fall for that. Jenna was like, okay. Honestly, kudos to Jenna's mom for being prudent, because if that happened to my mom, and if that was a scam call, my mom would definitely 100% fell for that shit. When a scammer calls my mom, she will go full on, having a hardcore conversation with the scammer, and eventually she will lose all the money. Yeah, my mom is so fucking gullible. She lost so much money over telemarketers and scammers. I think now she's getting better because my dad and I kept telling her, don't talk to strangers on the phone. Like, if they call you, fucking hang up. Honestly, I'm not even fucking joking. My mom gets scammed left and right every single day. The other day, she bought a shampoo. It was a knockoff version of Pantene. And you know what the fuck the name is? It's called Pelting. Everything she buys from the internet, from Douyin, from Pinduoduo, they're always knockoffs. She didn't mean to purchase the knockoff versions, but for some reason, everything that appeared on her For You page, they're fucking knockoffs. So despite what Jenna's mom told her, the lady called that day. She said, "Hey, I'm working for the genetic genealogy investigation firm. I'm calling you to ask for your permission to upload your DNA results to our website." Then Jenna was like, "Yeah, sure. You have my permission. I'll give you my permission. You can upload that shit." Then the lady said, "I also need your password."
Huh? What?
You know, it's one thing that you ask for my permission, but it's another thing that you're asking my password. Then Jenna was like, I think the fuck nah, you trick ass bitch. Shit on my fucking face if you ever think I'm gonna give you my password. Well, she didn't say that, but that's what I will say. So without hesitation, Jenna hung up the phone. She's like, no. And a week later, she was at work. Her mom called her. And this time, her cousin was on the other side of the phone as well. They told Jenna that the calls that they've been getting from the detective, from the lady who works at the investigation firm, as a matter of fact, they were legit. Yeah, they were not kidding. They were not scammers. They were absolutely legit. Okay, if you guys say so. So Jenna gave them her password. They also asked Jenna's mom's permission to upload her DNA results to the website. So they took Jenna and Jenna's mom, both of them. The results came back, and guess the fuck what? Not only Jenna was a distant relative to the victim, but Jenna's mom was directly related to the victim, uncovering a family connection that she never could have imagined. All the puzzles are pieced together now. So the police found out that Jenna's grandmother, Nancy, whom she had never met, is actually the killer from the Baby Garnett case that the police has been hunting for more than 2 decades. In June of 1997, a deceased infant was found in a pit toilet at the Garnett Lake campground located in Houston Township of the Upper Peninsula. After conducting an autopsy, it was determined that the baby had died from asphyxiation. And when I was doing the research, when I saw the word a pit toilet, hold on, what is a pit toilet? Is it like a squat toilet? So I did some digging, and apparently a pit toilet is a simple hole underground which has no flushing mechanism and relying on gravity and natural decomposition. The police proceeded to investigate for the next couple of months, but unfortunately they couldn't find anything. There were no witnesses, no viable leads to the investigation. Therefore, the case lost its momentum and went cold for over 20 years. In 2017, a sergeant from the Michigan State Police renewed the whole investigation with the assistance from a private lab and FBI. They initiated this thing called familial genetic genealogical tracing. I don't know why this sounds so pretentious. And in 2020, they sent the skeletal remainings to the lab for testing. That's where the earlier story comes into play. Jenna took a test and the results came back and alerted the police, indicating there's a specific familial lineage, leading the investigators to an elderly woman whose name is Nancy Gawatowski, who was then living in Pinedale, Wyoming. So the police arrested Nancy and trying to find out why and what really happened that night. And according to the Michigan Attorney General's office, Nancy was having a baby at her home, and during the labor, the baby had died from asphyxiation, and according to them, the baby's death could have been prevented by medical intervention. To Nancy's defense, this is her side of the story. She unexpectedly gave birth in a bathtub. So she was pregnant, she was taking a bath that night, and it wasn't supposed to happen. Like, that was not her due date. But it happened, the shit happened, and she was forced to give birth in a bathtub. While she was giving the birth, the baby got stuck inside of her birth canal. She tried to pull the fetus out of her body, but couldn't. She ended up passing out. Now, I'm not sure what was the cause of fainting because there were so many factors can contribute to it. For instance, lack of oxygen, dehydration, heat-induced hypertension. Because when we're taking a bath or when we're in one of those extremely hot environment like a sauna for extended periods of time, we tend to sweat a lot. This is gonna result in loss of fluids and electrolytes, which can cause dehydration. The heat makes our blood vessel to dilate or widen. This can reduce the amount of oxygenated blood to the brain. And on top of that, she wasn't enjoying the bath. She wasn't in a bathtub that is infused with fucking Lush bath bombs, sipping Chardonnay. She wasn't doing none of that shit. She was giving a full-on, a hardcore birth in a bathtub. I'm pretty sure that she's mentally and physically fatigued. And by the time she woke up from that and finally delivered the baby had already passed away. So instead of calling the 911, she drove miles away across town and dumped the baby in a pit toilet. Nancy also asserted that, similar to the typical individuals in 1997, she didn't have access to telephone or cellular service. Well, that's a tongue twister. Cellular service, rendering her not able to dial 911. Her defense attorney contended that Nancy had been in a state of shock following a traumatic childbirth, during which she had no pain medication. To my understanding, this can imply that everything unfolded at a breakneck pace, one thing after another, leaving her no time to rest, no time to think, no time to recover. As a result, she was just not in a rational state of mind. Nancy had been charged with 1 count each of open murder, involuntary manslaughter, concealing the death of an individual. And I was curious about the statute of limitation on those charges. Evidently, at the federal level and in most states, there's no statute of limitation for murder. However, the statute of limitation does imply for manslaughter. So for involuntary manslaughter, it ranges from 3 to 5 years, and the time might vary based on jurisdictions. Now, it is unclear whether the baby died at some point during the birth inside of her, or the baby passed away after she pulled the fetus out of her body, as no one can confirm the fetus was born alive. But if Nancy was charged for the open murder case, she could potentially face life sentence. And as far as for Jenna, she said, it was a very hard time, very traumatizing, very nerve-wracking. I've never met this woman, so it was hard for me to even grasp that concept, but even harder for my mom, because that was her mother. Yo, imagine you accidentally kill someone and you got away with this murder. You kept this skeleton in your closet hidden for your whole life. And one of your relatives, someone you have never met in your fucking life, fucked you over. Well, I guess whatever you put out there always comes back and bites you in the ass, huh? What do you think? I would like to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.